The finish line is in sight. Don't give up now, not when you've worked this hard to get here. Hi my friends, it's Sunita. Welcome to Sunita Makes Crochet Items. So, true confession time. Remember the last video that I started, which was to join K&K Crochet in spring on making the Hexicardi party? Well, I got to row something or the other. Long story short, I ended up frogging it all the way back to row 1. And so far, I am on row 14. I'm going to try to finish up to row 15 on both panels. But look at how big this is and how pretty that is. I love it. So, I ended up having to rewatch her video multiple times just to make sure it was clicking in here. But before I ended up frogging all this, I started a new skein. But this new skein is not going to be enough to finish the cardigan because with this one, I only got to row 15, and then basically this is all I have left of the yarn. So I'm gonna have to find a coordinating color for this. This is up to row 15, and this one is Premier Mosaic, not sponsored. I just love this yarn. This is a 4-weight, 216 yards, 198 meters, 4.23 ounces, 120 grams. And it's 100% acrylic. And this one I am using a 6mm hook with it. But I'm kind of excited, and I do have 2 of these completed. So I just have row 16 through 20, and then I'm gonna join a different color. Now the question is, what color do I join? Because there's blues and greens and pinks and yellows, and I see some purple in here too. But depending on what I use, we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm gonna go ahead and put this down and focus on the garnet, because remember, the garnet was the also Premier, not sponsored. I purchased all of this yarn from their Premier's weekly sale. I'm sorry, not sponsored by this either. Let me change that. So, long story short, this is what I've been focusing on. I did actually go live yesterday with Mara as my magic hands, and we started a gnome, but we kind of cut it short. I mean, it was still 2 hours almost, maybe like 2 hours and 15 minutes worth of a live, but I did work up the pattern after we went through all the motions of, kind of designing it on the go. And I basically made some alterations to that. So what I plan on doing is to go ahead and start another one, write down the notes, and maybe possibly doing a tutorial on how to make my version of a gnome, which is basically a boy gnome, and we're doing the nose, 2 arms, the beard, and then we crochet the hat and then work onto the body. And my goal in all amigurumis that I do, regardless of whose pattern it is I try to make it a no-sew, because the less sew, the less, how do you say it? The minimal minimalist of sewing I have to do is better. I'm more inclined to completing it that way. Anyway, long story short, I am going to go ahead and do a tutorial for that. And basically, I mean, you can catch the replay. We kind of talk through the process or the recipe, but it could be a little confusing because we basically change stuff in the middle of it. So an official video will be out soon. I'm trying to finish this first because, you know, I'm like Granny G. I swirl. But you guys keep me accountable. So if you don't see my gnome tutorial, I would say by the end of February. Actually, I want to try to get that done before February. That way, well, at least before Valentine's Day. Because it is a Valentine's Day gnome. But nonetheless, I'm just going to work on this. Thank you guys all for hanging out with me yesterday. And also, check out Spring's tutorial for this. I am going to leave it below in the description bar. You can just go to the channel, just check it out, see if that's something that you want to do. And if you need any help, she is always there to help. And mind you, I was all over the chat, so like, Spring, did I do this right? And she's like, yeah, you're doing fine. But then I got to the point where I felt like I was a nuisance, so I just was like, you know what? Let me just take my own notes. I watched the video from beginning to end multiple times just to make sure, and then I wrote it down. So I have rows 1 through 20 written down, but right now I'm pacing myself and basically going to work up to row 15 for this panel, the other panel, and piece it all together. I did watch the whole video and I do like the way that she joins it. But that's it for me today. And I know I talked about the gnome, but we'll focus on the gnome a little bit more at the end of the month. But love yourself so you can love everyone else. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.